I beg to move that the bill further to amend the Constitution of India as passed by the Lok Sabha be taken into consideration. Sir, I am very happy to say that so far as this item of the business is concerned, it is free from any acrimony of any kind. Sir, the contents of this bill have received universal support throughout the country. And in the other house, as it is known to all sections of this house, sir, I will very briefly indicate, although it is hardly necessary to do so, as to what this bill is about. First of all, as is known to all the honorable members of this house, a provision had been introduced in the Constitution in the shape of Article 31D and 42nd Amendment Act, by which a power had been given for banning the so-called anti-national activities and anti-national organizations or associations. Parliament had been given the power by the provisions which had been introduced in the Constitution to make any law to impose any kind of restrictions on the people of this country which could transcend the fundamental rights guaranteed by the Constitution and contained in Articles 14, 19 and 31 of the Constitution. Sir, this was such a blanket power that the nuclear inclusion of Article 31D had come in for universal condemnation and criticism throughout the country. I am very glad to say that this is an attempt to redeem the pledge which had been given by the Janata Party to the people of this country. Of course, the pledge goes into various other matters also, which are still at the stage of discussion with the leaders of various political parties in the two houses. But so far as this is concerned, this particular proposal to repeal Article 31D and to delete it from the Constitution was universally and unanimously accepted. It was realized that it was not necessary to give such drastic and draconian powers at the cost of the fundamental rights, at the cost of freedoms enshrined in Article 19 and 20, at the cost of the fundamental rights to equality guaranteed by Article 14 in the name of anti-national activities and anti-national associations. I am thankful to all the honorable members for their unanimous support to the provisions which is being made by this bill. Sir, the other provisions of this bill are equally non-controversial, as the reactions of the whole country, of the section of people of all political parties as reflected in the proceedings in the other house, have already demonstrated. Now, sir, certain provisions have been introduced by the 42nd Amendment of the Constitution, which dealt with the powers of the Supreme Court and the powers of the High Court, as well as the mode of exercise of these powers in those courts. Sir, it had been provided by the 42nd Amendment that High Courts cannot consider the validity of the central law. The definition of a central law did not confine merely to legislation. It included even a statutory notification, with the result that virtually whenever any important exercise of power by the center was to be challenged, then in that case the High Court had been deprived of their power to sit in judgment over the validity of either a central legislature or role enacted under the central legislation, or even a statutory notification made by the center into those laws. Sir, it is well known that India is a very large